What up? What up? What up? It's RJ Fantasy Football back, and I'm back, and I'm back. What's going on, people? I'm R, and it's the J.
What's
What's
up?
going on, bro?
Hey, the show is back, completely back. Everybody's in the house, so I feel good.
Yeah,
Had a
man.
nice Thanksgiving time. How were things with your family? We had both my parents and Sydney's mom here with us, so we got real fat and ate a lot of food. Had a good time. How things over in the Riddick home?
Oh man, it's good, man. Sleepless nights, but hey, I'm getting about probably 4 hours of sleep, maybe five. It
Okay.
depends, but it's good though. I know how to make it work. So I'm back though, man. It feel good. So it's been a
Hey,
minute, but it
it's
feel good to be
great to
back.
have you back. We missed you.
Appreciate it, man. I'm back, man. You know, I got to get back in the swing of things, but it's all good. That ain't gonna take long.
Yeah.
So
So how's your fantasy football life going? How'd you
terrible,
do week 12?
terrible. As usual, this season, my season is pretty much done. I think we'll
uh,
make the playoffs in maybe two leagues,
okay.
two out of
Two
seven.
out of seven.
But that's about it. I got I got to cut down next year a little bit. So I'm gonna cut down to probably about 4 or 5 leagues next year. So
Okay.
I'm gonna cut down a little bit because there's a lot going on. So gotta
Understand.
gotta cut back a little
Hey.
bit. But
Oh, and of course, you're being welcome back. Welcome Orlena Lewis to the
thank you,
show.
appreciate it,
Good to
appreciate
have
it.
you with us. I had a good another one of my good weeks. I ended up winning 5 out of my 7 leagues. Playoff spots are looking pretty good. I can't complain too much. I'm thinking I'm gonna be in the playoffs in about 5 leagues. If I'm lucky, 6. But it's kind of teeter. It's been a crazy football year. Because it's like we were talking about this earlier. Like across several leagues, it's like losing records everywhere. It's like people that can stay at 500, you're doing something.
That's what, man. Look,
Yeah.
let me tell you something. I told you earlier. Anybody that's winning this year,
Yeah.
you deserve it because is no way this year has been hard, man, because
Yeah.
of injuries.
Injuries,
Um,
bad production from what's supposed to be stud players.
oh my gosh, bad production from just
Yeah.
players that's supposed to be your top guys that's really just not doing nothing. And that's my thing. I'm getting injuries and they ain't getting no production from
Yeah.
none of my players. Like not on a weekly basis. They might
Yeah.
go
That's a
off
yes
like
inconsistecy.
once every now and then. I
Mm-hmm.
might have a good game, but then I'll be like, I am back. I got this. But then I'm like, you know what? Here I go again. These don't not want to show up. So
Yeah.
I was up last week in one league, man. I was up probably about 30. And I lost literally by 1 point. I said, this is the way my season is gonna go.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I said this before after I won the 3 championships last year. I said I really don't care what I do this year because I won three last year.
Right. You got some room for
I got some
error.
room. I got some wiggle room to mess up, so I'm good. I ain't worried about it.
I ain't mad at that. And of course, we've got the since you've been gone, the newest addition to the show. We have the producer cam. So let's see how check in on our producer. How you been doing with your fantasy football this past week?
You should have asked me last week or the week before that because it was better than this past week. So, y'all
Right.
wrong for asking me about this week, but it's cool. It's cool.
Don't feel
Yeah,
bad.
I ain't mad at that. But
No, I'm going to be honest. I'm mostly mad about just one.
uh
All season. No, I've been scoring over 200 points since week 7.
uh
This week, I didn't. And the person I played scored the most points
like
I've ever seen in that
260.
league
I
the
think you brought up.
entire season on me. So I'm a little salty. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Tony. Yes, you. So yeah, I'm a little salty. I'm not even gonna deny mine.
I ain't mad at that. Yeah, Tony, if you're watching out there,
Yeah.
we hating on you.
Yeah.
Look, we were talking earlier. Our producer, she plays in a league with us. One of the leagues we've been in the longest, about I think 16 years. I think that league's been going. And so me and Rodney are having really bad seasons in that
Yes.
league. So we're like, our producer is our only shot for R&J having some respectability in that league. So that's the league my father won last year, and so I'm hoping it stays in the family and Sydney brings on the trophy because If it's in this house, it won't be because of me.
Yeah,
Let's just say that.
I don't know what it is over there though, man. It's just
Yeah.
like the last couple of years we've been like, it's been kind of bad for us.
Well,
And
not completely. I've been in the championship until this year. The last 3 years, won it 0 of those 3 times. So in that respect, it's been bad. But the crazy part is, I've gotten in the championship. I think 2 of those 3 years from losing records. So,
well, look,
whatever.
It got to be better. It got to be
Gotta
better.
get
So.
better. Next year's our year. We're about to sound like the Cowboys every year. Next year.
It's definitely got to get better.
Why would you? Hold on, I'm gonna come in here. Why would you compare yourself to the Cowboys?
Reality.
Okay.
Like I don't want to, but that's what it's been.
All right, I'm done.
As you used to say, when I used to get there, I was LeBron in it because I kept losing it all the time. So
right. And now I took that over. So
yeah,
I'm LeBron in it. Enough about our failures in life. You wanna jump to some performers, people that were good in fantasy football.
I'm really excited about this list. This quarterback list, just because of the fact that it's a lot of really new names that performed well this week. So you got people like Mac Jones, who was 28 of 39 for 382, 2 touchdowns. He played well.
Surprisingly well.
Surprisingly, yes. Geno Smith, been on the list a couple times, but Geno Smith is going to work his way to a new contract in Seattle the way he's been playing. 27 to 37 for 328 and 2 touchdowns and an interception, but it doesn't matter. Trevor Lawrence played well. 29 to 37, 321, 3 touchdowns. And surprisingly, Mike White.
He helped me in one league where I played.
The question is he's going to be the starting quarterback going forward for the future? That's the big question. But he was 22 of 28 for 315, 3 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. And obviously Pat Mahomes, 27 to 42 for 320 and a touchdown. But that's every week though. But like I say, this list is kind of, when I looked at it, I was like, man, this list is surprising because of the fact that Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, and Mike White made this list.
Yeah.
So,
It was sort of the week of running quarterbacks because Josh Allen had like 78 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown to go up his 253. Jalen Hurts was insane. Passed for 153, which is not that impressive, but ran for 157 and added 2 touchdowns. And then, not to be left out, Lamar Jackson even said, "I'm going to run for 89 yards this week." So it was a rushing quarterback's dream this past week. But it's some good names. Now, you mentioned Trevor Lawrence in your list.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence is actually, I don't know if you looked in one of our leagues. I'm starting him, and I think I might start. That's the league where I drafted MVP candidate Derek Carr.
We got to talk about that.
We got to talk about our bold predictions.
We got to talk about that.
That one was very wrong, but I'm starting Trevor Lawrence this week, and I think I'm going to start him the next couple of weeks because I think Trevor Lawrence has the opportunity to put up together some really good games coming up. So, yeah,
I'm not mad at that. I mean, the way he's been playing, he played well, so you can't really knock him on that. So, I just got how high is Derek Carr going next year in your book? If you had to,
that depends on where he's playing. Because I'm not 100% sure he's gonna be. I think he'll be a Raider next year. If you asked me to bet on it today, I'd say they keep the band together for one more time because Derek Carr is a big reason Davante Adams came to Oakland. Well, Las Vegas, I meant to say, and so I think they at least give them another year with the new coach and everything to shake it together. But don't be surprised if they come up with a deal to move Derek Carr, in which case it depends on where he's at. But let's say, to answer your question, he's with the Raiders. Mm-hmm. I put him down in, I had him, I think we had him tier 2 this year.
Yeah.
I put him down in tier 3, bottom of tier 3, looking at tier 4. But I think next year will hopefully be better if he's with Las Vegas, but no higher than tier 3. I'm not. I tell you this, I won't be predicting him to be an MVP candidate next year.
So he's going back to where he normally is drafted. He's normally drafted tier 3.
The Davante Adams lifted him up in my mind, and I'm not falling for it unless he puts together a really nice end of this season. Then I think about it maybe, but for right now, nah. No. I see my mom commented that she lost both games this week. She played a husband and wife team in 2 different leagues, lost to both of them, including one she's mentioning, a person with a very bad losing record. Almost knocking her out of playoff contention. I think she's still, because speaking of the women's fantasy football league, in her first year, my mom is in playoff competition. She might. I think she's gonna probably make it, but that loss this week hurt. So we'll see whether she stays in the top 6.
Well, it's tough. It's tough out there in these streets.
It's tough out there. Of course, our producer is also in playoff. She better be in playoff contention in that league. She's representing us. So.
I hate to say it, but I'm in there. No, actually, this week helped me. My win this week helped. Yeah.
Yeah. You.
So I'm in a better position than I was, but before this week, it wasn't pretty.
Hey, we already said that you have to represent for us.
You keep saying that.
She has to.
Hey, that's part of being on the team. You got your own camera now and everything. So
yeah. you got to represent for us, man, because we down in the dumps over here.
We've had better days.
Definitely down in the dumps. So.
I got my own camera, so now I gotta do stuff.
Yeah, that camera comes with responsibility. She can't just.
Well, then you should have left me as the voice in the back then.
Well, you can't hide no more, so you definitely gotta. You can't hide it in the background no more.
I can still hide in the background if I need to.
No, you can't hide no more. That voice in the back.
Nah, you a voice and a face.
Yeah,
so you can't just be the voice no more.
Yeah.
Yo, one more quarterback you mentioned plays tomorrow. You think Mac Jones repeats tomorrow night against the Bills?
No.
No.
I mean,
it was a one and done.
I'm not saying it was a one and done, but like, how high can Mac Jones go? What is his level?
Yeah.
As far as skill wise, is he always gonna be that mediocre guy that every now and then gets you something like this, but it always hovers around 250, 260? Yeah. He's a 260 guy, in my opinion.
The fact that he was almost 400 yards blew my mind.
Yeah, because they don't let him throw the ball.
They don't exactly. They don't give him those opportunities. I'm wondering whether he had that opportunity because of the Bills, but I'm actually thinking that game's going to be more defense than anything tomorrow night. So,
I mean, it depends on the weather because the last time they played, he threw the ball 3 times. So
I hope it's better than that.
Yeah, I hope it's better than that. I hope people don't depend. I hope they don't play him and say, "Oh yeah, I think he'll do well," but. Yeah. Who knows? Hopefully he does well, but
I would definitely temper my expectations.
Bro, let me tell you something. Yes. So,
all right, definitely. What else you got for us?
We got running backs. And speaking of running backs, Josh Jacobs, 33
Did he do it though?
229, 2 touchdowns. And I'm going to add Jalen Hurts on this list, 17 carries, 157.
Yeah.
It's funny because the running back and the quarterback had over 100 yards.
The Miles Sanders don't draft me guy put up 143 yards.
Miles Sanders, 21 carries, 143, 2 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. James Conner came back to life a little bit. 25 carries, 120, no touches. Nick Chubb, 26 carries, 116, and a touchdown. But Nick Chubb been doing this all year. Chubb, I love Nick Chubb, bro. I want a Nick Chubb hater. But I always felt like Nick Chubb shouldn't have been high up there because he couldn't catch out the backfield. But Nick Chubb is a dog. Nick Chubb is real.
He's real.
Yeah.
Other running back to mention, getting his first ever 100-yard game, Brian Robinson, doing some big things this past week, and getting a receiving touchdown. It's crazy because they benched Antonio Gibson, with quotation marks, for Brian Robinson. But Antonio Gibson's been putting up numbers. Yeah. But Antonio Gibson's showing up on the injury report this week. So if by chance he misses, it could be a big Brian Robinson game. But I'm hoping, because I have Antonio Gibson in a couple of
Me too.
That it's not that serious. Right.
And look, I'm still trying to win. I'm trying to kill people's playoff dreams. So hopefully, I can do something like that. So who knows?
In one particular league, that's all I'm doing. Except I play our producer in that league. So
you better not kill my dreams.
She already gave me a warning.
Oh, we
Oh,
already
so she
talked
told
off
you.
camera.
Well, you
No,
gotta
hey.
live in the house with her, so I advise you not to do
I
that.
remember I do cook your food.
So, wow,
Yes.
that is a real threat.
That's a
There.
real
Yeah, it
threat.
is. Yeah, I'm not playing. Sorry,
Wow.
I'm on a
So
mission.
if I don't want to get poisoned, then I guess I need to throw this one.
You might want to sit somebody on
Yeah,
the bench
like-
for 1 week or something.
Don't be surprised if I have 0 people on my roster.
You ain't lying.
We'll
Jeez.
see. Yo, we got our first question. DJ Moore's on a bye this week. And so who are you going with? George Pickens or Treylon Burks this week?
Treylon Burks.
Really?
I like George Pickens though,
Okay.
but the problem with George Pickens, and I watched the game Monday night, he
Mhm.
drops a lot of passes,
He does.
easy passes.
But he catches some incredible ones.
He catches the hard ones, but he dropped the easy ones, which is really opposite of what you need to do. And I think they have a connection, but I think the offense is not all the way there yet between those two. I think he has solid games, but I think Treylon Burks is going to be – he's that guy. If you watch them Sunday, they look for Treylon Burks. So Treylon Burks, he get a lot of looks. He's the new A.J. Brown, basically. A.J. Brown was the guy that got a bunch of the work. He's going to get a bunch of the work. So I'm going Treylon Burks, to be honest with you.
I like Treylon Burks. This week, though, I'm actually going to say I like George Pickens only because of the matchup against the Falcons. Kenny Pickett is showing some improvement. As his coach was saying, every week he looks a little bit better. And I think he could have a really big one. I like Treylon Burks, though, this week, too. I think he should have a good one. Only thing that scares me about him is him facing the Eagles, and there's a good chance he gets some Darius Slay treatment. And that ain't been good for too many people that's gone up against him. So.
But do they respect him enough to just put Darius Slayton on him like that, or?
I'm trying to think who else would you put Darius Slay on?
I mean,
I think it's gonna be Treylon getting it. So,
I mean,
we'll
do you
see.
put Darius Slayton on one side and keep him moving? Like,
maybe.
I mean, you giving him that much respect? To be honest with you, I mean,
Well,
that's a lot of respect.
Who else would you? Who else?
Yeah, that's
who
true.
is a serious threat there? If you shut, well, really, here's the real truth. It's the Titans. So you know all the respect is going towards stopping Derrick Henry. So that could give him some room to play. So
yeah,
but
definitely.
I think both guys should have a good go at it. So pick your poison. Do you want the guy that's gonna get the best coverage, or you want to go with the guy who's playing against the Falcons? Because the Falcons have been playing decently, but I think there's a lot of room for hopefully Kenny Pickett to pick that defense apart, and we'll see. We got another question, and this one is for you. Welcome, Kyrie Condones to the show. Let me know if I'm messing this up altogether. But are you, as a 49er fan, panicking on CMC? He had a really good game when he had the triple hat, the hat trick. Yeah, hat trick. When he passed, rushed, and caught a pass for a touchdown. And he's kind of been real quiet since then. What you thinking?
I feel for this when we got him, but I think it's always the injury factor with him, but I don't think he's hurt. I think they saying he's supposed to rest a lot.
What do you say, like a knee irritation?
Yeah, it's not really hurt. So I think they're supposed to rest a lot this week. Yeah. And I think he's going to get a bulk of the carries. Mason's going to get a lot too, just a relief. Yeah. But he's going to get most of them just because of the fact that, he's the guy, and Eli Mitchell is hurt pretty much for the season now. Yeah. So that's a big loss for us. But I think at the end of the day, CMC is going to be fine. Yeah. I will feel especially this week when we play Miami. That's going to be a game where we're going to have to.
That game is going to be interesting. I hope we talk about that a little bit more later.
Oh, we are. I have my thoughts on some stuff. So, but I think he's gonna have to be CMC this game coming up because of the fact that the Dolphins ain't nothing to play with. The Dolphins can score, and they can score quick. So you got to have CMC out. You got to have all your weapons out there, and they got to show up. It's gonna come down to the quarterback though. But he seems to throw out the backfield a lot to him, so I think he should be fine. Kyrie. Yeah. Also, like and subscribe.
Yes. Please
definitely.
Do. two questions coming at you, and I
Okay.
think you kind of hit on one with Elijah Mitchell being out. That should, I would think, put CMC back to maybe
Yeah.
being CMC, because it was a little bit surprising how many carries Elijah Mitchell took from
Because
CMC.
Elijah Mitchell is that
Because
good.
He's
You can't.
So you got two really good guys. You can't ignore them. So with him out, I think that has to benefit him. But the other question is, and the real question is, are the 49ers hurt in any way playing against the old coach?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's like, I give you a prime example.
Mhm.
Me and you, for instance, we can walk in the draft room, and I can tell you where you're going, and you can tell me where I'm going. And we have done this before, by the way. He has gave me a list of 3 names of what guys I'm gonna draft. And out of that 3, I drafted one of them at least. And this is not me and him having a conversation or talking to each other about it.
Knowing somebody.
Just knowing somebody. So, Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel been with him for so long. I mean, all the way back to the days of Washington, when he was like a ball boy or whatever you want to call it, a video guy. So they've been knowing each other and been around each other for so long. They run the same playbook, same offense, same playbook. I mean, nothing's changed. And then you got a lot of 49er players that's on that team too.
That's gonna make
that's
that
another
very
thing.
interesting.
So he can say, okay, I seen this offensive play before. Y'all need to do this. So I think Cal gonna have to kind of come up with some different plays in order to scheme against him, because you can't just go and run your normal plays against him, because he know him. He running the same plays you're running.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's gonna be a good game. I think it comes down to Tua and it comes down to Garoppolo, but I think Tua got a better control of the offense than Garoppolo, in my opinion.
This is bold.
I mean, think about it. These guys are scoring. They had 30 points by halftime
Crazy, yeah.
last week. Garoppolo can't even put up 30 in a game. With all those weapons, because I've been missing, but I've been watching games.
Yeah.
All those weapons we got. When you go from Debo to Ayuk to CMC to Kittles to all these guys, we got the best left tackle. We got a good O-line. But you're telling me you can't score no more than 13 points? To me, that doesn't make any sense. It comes down to one person and one person only.
Kyle Shanahan.
No. Jimmy Garoppolo.
I do.
So I'm just saying. But I think, and you had Elijah Mitchell there, who ate into some, but he was good. You had too many people to feed.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a barn burner, though. I can't wait to watch it.
Okay. You're predicting a lot of points in this one.
I'm predicting it's going to be not a lot of points, but I think our defense, if we win this thing, the defense is going to be that reason why.
Vegas is saying it's nearly 50 points, like 47 points total for the bonus. I think that's a bit high.
That's too high.
I would take the under on that one. I think the defense is because like you said, the Dolphins have been scoring like crazy.
Yeah,
and their defense has been giving up points, so I see why they have it that high. But I think the 49ers put their stuff together, and this game I think is going to be lower, much lower than what they're predicting.
Yeah.
Kyrie is coming to my side. Thanks,
okay.
Kyrie. He says play Pickens for some reason. He has a good feeling this is a breakout game. I'm with you. I think it's a breakout game. Like I was saying earlier, I think it's a really big breakout game for Kenny Pickett, and I think Pickens that Pickett to Pickens thing is going to be like terrorizing the NFL for the next few years.
I mean, I liked it. I'm not.
Yeah. You like them, but you
I
did
like
say
both,
Treylon Burks.
I think, but I'm a volume guy. So if you think about volume, you got to think about volume.
Treylon is the volume guy.
Yeah,
it's just that matchup scares me a little bit, but
yeah,
it should be interesting. And welcome Nita to the show. Going through the storms to come join us, so we appreciate you. Hey, everybody, like, subscribe, hit that like button for us. Let's see. We did all the running backs, wide receivers.
Let's go.
Tight end and such.
Well, I got 5 receivers. We're gonna go Zay Jones.
The former Raider.
11 receptions, 145 yards. Came out of nowhere. Obviously,
more than
Jefferson
he's ever had in his career.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jefferson, 9 receptions, 139 in the
Mm-hmm.
touchdown. Ahmad Ross, 8 Brown, 9 receptions, 122 in the touchdowns. T. Higgins, balling.
Mm-hmm.
7 receptions, 114 in the touch. Chris Godwin back to life finally. Uh 12, 110 in the touchdown. So I mean, out of this list, Zay Jones is the biggest surprise for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Does he
nobody
does
seen
he
that
keep
coming.
it going? He's on the injury list as well, but I don't think he's at risk of not playing.
I
Do,
don't
do, do,
know because he's never been consistent.
no,
Never
that.
been. I mean, so you can't sit here and say
uh,
I'm gonna roll with Zay Jones this week because you don't know he might give you 5 points this week. You
the
just don't know.
the one thing I do like about it is the Jags are playing the Lions, so that says it should be a good game. But
Yeah,
that's Christian Kirk over there, and I think if anyone benefits, it's always going to be Christian Kirk first, Zay Jones second. I mean, not last week, but that was like you said, out of nowhere.
yeah,
So I think there's room for both guys to do well because it's the Lions,
yeah.
but. But I don't think he sees 145 ever again in his career. I
No,
think that
that's
that
a
that one was like, hey, if you weren't starting Zay Jones, and I know you didn't, don't lie.
I didn't.
Not you. I mean everybody. No
Yeah, I
one.
mean,
Zay
no,
Zay Jones Zay Jones' mother might have started him in her fantasy league. No one else on the planet had Zay Jones in their lineup. So we all missed out on those fantasy football points. Speaking of missing out on fantasy football points, Christian Watson is on a streak of scoring touchdowns. One of us had Christian Watson on their team earlier this year and no longer do. So one of us is missing out on all those ones. Do you think he keeps it going, whether it's Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love next week?
I do. I
You,
think Christian Washington's gonna, but you know, I like Christian Washington coming out of the draft.
yeah.
I was a big guy,
I
big
liked him
proponent.
until like midway through the season when he was sucking every week. Yeah.
See, but I don't think it's him though.
Yeah.
I don't think it's him. I think it's because if you think about all the players they got, Romeo Dobbs, Christian Washington, all those
Mm-hmm.
rookies, they can get down the field.
Yeah.
Now the question
He's a
is,
speedster.
he's a speedster. Can Aaron Rodgers get down the field? Can Aaron Rodgers get the ball down the field like he used to? And Jordan Love can do that now, even though Jordan Love is not as good as Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love can sling it down the field, and that's the thing that Christian Washington, because that play wasn't a big play; it was a cross the middle
Yeah.
play that
That just
that got
turned
him
into a
that
big play because
yeah
of his speed.
speed. Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I think you keep it going. I think going into the rest of the season, I think you'll start to see him round out as the number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
Romeo Dobbs, he's went missing for some
Yeah.
reason.
Well, he got injured and
Yeah,
he hasn't been back, and it's he was a good start of the season story, and yeah,
yeah,
Christian Watson is apparently taking over.
yeah.
Uh, so
So
um,
I think Christian Washington. I think he'll do well. I think he's going to continue to do well. I think going into final stretch of the season, going into next year, I think he got to make a stride to
mhm.
be that number 1 because that's what they need now. They need a
Yeah,
number 1.
they need
So
that. They
yeah,
gotta have someone to be the new
hmm
Devonte Adams, and no one's Devonte Adams, but they at least need somebody they can rely on a weekly basis. So
yeah,
he's been doing that the last few weeks. So
definitely.
good for him. Even though he's not part of my fantasy football teams anymore, I wish him the best.
I
But
got
another rookie
I
who
got one for
yeah,
you
go
though.
ask your question.
Uh, going into next year,
Hmm.
is T Higgins? Do you put T Higgins and Jamar Chase in the same conversation as far as our
I,
wide receiver ones?
I did this year, and I do the same thing next year.
Okay.
As long as that group is together with Joe Barrow, there's no limit to how good those two can be. So I think they are both wide receiver ones.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, in fact, Jamar Chase is back this week with the Bengals playing the Chiefs. So
Does that change anything?
We'll get a chance to see. I think they're going to need both of those guys
Of
because
course. Yeah, yeah.
we've already seen the Chiefs don't care who their wide receivers are. So they're
That's
going to
true.
be good no matter what. So I think this is going to be now that is a game I think is going to be a high scoring one because it just has to be just
Ain't no
based off the
defense.
last time they played in the playoffs last year. I think we see
Ooh.
I think we see a repeat of that. That's a lot of touchdowns and yards to be had in that game. So, and I think T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, coming off his injury, are going to do well. And of course, since we're talking the subject, Travis Kelce would do well. He didn't have his usual great tight end game. He ceded that to, I would say, Dalton Schultz, who didn't have a lot of yards, but he put in the 2 touchdowns for the Cowboys. And I think Dalton Schultz should have another one. And talk about out of nowhere, the Jelani Woods. Who had Jelani Woods?
Oh my God! You see that? He was just catching. Never heard of him. I was like, who is this guy catching all these passes? I was like, this is crazy. And now my question is, are you putting him in the lineup again this week?
Natty, no.
Are you putting him in the lineup this week again? No.
Well, I say this: tight end. We got the news. Kyle Pitts is done for the year, which a lot of people thought was going to be the case anyway. So you're struggling at tight end. Maybe you roll with Jelani Woods and hope he repeats it. But for me, I'm good. I'm gonna pass on that one because the Colts look awful. And quite frankly, Matt Ryan being back is better than they were with Ellinger, but it's not good. And so Michael Pittman Jr. Ended up with a pretty decent game, and Paris Campbell was there, but not what people expected. I don't know. I don't trust anybody other than Michael Pittman on the Colts as far as receiving, and I don't even trust him a whole lot.
Well, Paris Campbell is always there. He just don't do nothing.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, he'll score a lot when you have him on your bench, and then when you try to play him, nothing.
Yeah. So what do you do at quarterback if you're the coach going into next year? What is your what angle are you going?
You don't bring in another old guy. That's all I can tell you. You do.
Okay.
But they've got to draft somebody at that position because Ellinger was obviously not it. Matt Ryan is a Band-Aid, and he's washed. He's not the Matt Ryan of old. So you got to give up on trying to do these retreads. So I guess the bigger question is what to do with coach. Are they going to keep rolling with just Saturday, or are they bringing in somebody? And I think depending on who they bring in, I think it have tell us a lot about what they do at quarterback. But I'm hoping they're bringing in an offense guy and somebody who's going to pull the time because they have some pieces there.
But that's the thing. You cannot waste those. Yeah. You can't waste those pieces.
Exactly.
Going now, do you bring in because I don't know if is it really any young quarterbacks that you could bring in right now. It's really not
Zach
many.
Wilson.
I was thinking that too, but I don't know if you bring in Zach Wilson unless you get a strong-minded coach. But the Jets got a strong-minded coach.
Yeah.
But Zach Wilson got to put in the time and everything else to become a better quarterback and then get the respect from the locker room. Now, I don't know if you bring him in, but like if you're trying to think for the future young quarterback, that might be a route to go because he is rookie deal. I mean, he's still young, so you can work on him. It may be his last shot as a starter, but at least you got a young quarterback out there instead of going back to these older quarterbacks, which doesn't make sense to do that. But you're right about that. I wouldn't do it. So,
all right. There's at least one really big news story. You want to go to NFL news? Yeah, you got some more players you want to talk about.
Let's do some waiver wires. Let's do some pick ones.
Oh, all right then.
We ain't did that. I guess since I've been gone, but Bam Knight or JaMycal Hasty.
I guess I have to pick.
Yes, you do. Well, you don't.
I'm not going JaMycal Hasty. I'll tell you that. There's nothing
you haven't seen enough?
There's nothing that gets me excited about him. So I guess I'm gonna go with Knight.
Okay. I'm going Knight too.
Yeah. I think the situation is good for him. And
they saying he's supposed to get not a bunch.
Did you pick him up anywhere?
Yes, I did.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I did. I picked him up.
You picked him up and you're playing him this week?
I don't know about all that. I'm not. I don't know if I have to play him. I'm playing him, but right now at the moment, no, I'm not playing him.
Okay.
JaMycal Hasty, I know about JaMycal Hasty. Yeah. He was a Niner. He's hit and miss.
Yeah.
Most times around. So, I don't know. I'm going Knight.
Obviously, both of them benefit from injuries.
Yeah.
Which put them in the. I'm just gonna go Knight just because.
Yeah.
you're making me pick. So, but I'm not excited about either one of them this week. But let's go two guys you can't get too excited about, and we kind of did some of this when we talked about George Pickens. But I had a different group. I was gonna say Treylon Burks this week going against the Eagles and Darius Slay potentially, or do you go with the 145-yard Zay Jones?
Treylon Burks.
Treylon.
I'm going volume. I don't care what nobody says. Volume is key in fantasy. You can have the worst team in the league, period. Like, you can have the worst team, or you can have but think about Amon St. Brown last year, prime example. They were bad, but he was good because of volume. So if you think about it, volume is key to all of this. So if you get at least 10, not even 10 receptions, but 10 targets a game, which Treylon Burks is getting about 8 to 10 targets a game, that volume alone is going to cover way more than what Zay Jones is going to do, because he might get 3 targets this week and you might not see nothing from him. So I'm going Treylon Burks anyway.
I'm very excited about what Zay Jones did last week. I'm very excited about the matchup because, again, playing the Lions is going to be nothing but opportunities. However, the biggest thing for me in fantasy football is consistency, especially since we're going to the playoff push. And I'm with you. I like George Pickens over Treylon Burks, but I picked Treylon Burks over Zay Jones for the exact same reason you said. You know what he's going to get because of what he means as far as volume for that offense. Zay Jones could go in next week and, like you said, get 3 touches, 20 yards. And Christian Kirk is the one with 150
exactly.
yards. So I'm always going with the perceived number 1 wide receiver, and that is obviously Treylon Burks. Welcome, Shannon, to the show. Good to see you. Good to see you joining with us. Glad you're here.
Shan. What's up, Shan?
Got another question. Patriots defense only put up 1 point last week. Very disappointing to me because I played the Patriots defense. I did not appreciate that performance. But you do need a new defense. Do not, for the love of God, do not play the Patriots this week against the Bills. No, don't do it to yourself. I actually have, on the team where I'm starting the Patriots, I dropped some random player so I could pick up a second defense because I like the Patriots defense after this week going into the playoffs, but this week is a do not play against. I'm not playing any defense against the Bills, no matter who it is.
If you can grab Seattle's defense, that's a good play this week. Seattle's a really good play.
Seattle's a great play this week.
Yes. And I think it's somebody playing Houston this week. I think they're playing
the Browns. The
Browns are a good defense to pick up this week too. I got the Browns in a couple.
I don't know if you noticed, but I've been rolling in one of our leagues with whoever the Browns are playing. I picked up the Dolphins' defense has not been good. We mentioned earlier,
but they did work last week.
I had them last week.
I had them last week. So
I had them last week in a couple of leagues. I was going around bam, picked them up.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And I would do the same. You can pick up the Browns this week because Dameon Pierce, who we love, has fallen off a cliff. Yeah. So and all of it because of quarterback play. They went away from Davis Mills to go to Kyle Allen. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea.
It ain't been great.
But that was even worse. And Dameon Pierce is paying a high price. I think Dameon Pierce comes out of his funk this week because surprisingly the Browns have not been good against the run. And so I'm thinking Dameon Pierce picks it up, but I still think overall the Browns are going to be a good play this week. And like you said, the Seahawks, they're playing against the Rams, and you can kind of make that same argument, especially with Stafford being out lately. Yeah, play any defense you can play against the Rams. And
Stafford, they're probably going to shut Stafford down for the rest of the year. They should anyway.
They might as well because it's over. They're coming off that Super Bowl defense, and it ain't going well. So I'm with you 100%.
Got another one for you. Mike White or Jordan Love. If he plays this week.
If Jordan Love plays this week, the Bears' defense has been uncharacteristically not good. They've been okay.
Right?
They've been
bad.
Okay this week. And so that could be a play if you want to go Jordan Love. But I'm not trusting that not that I want to put a lot of trust in Mike White. The Jets, they're playing against. Let me see who's on it. In fact, let me while we're talking about it, let's show the schedule for this week because, like we've mentioned before, if you look at the schedule and you don't have to be betting in Vegas, but if you look at the over-unders, it gives you a good idea of what they think the total points is going to be, and that can help you pull out your fantasy football players. So the Jets are playing the Vikings this week. I actually like that matchup for the Jets, and I like what Mike White did. Where
can you keep it up though?
I don't think he can keep it up in the long term. We were talking about whether we think he's a starter in this league. I don't think Mike White's a starter. I think he is a backup. But I think he can put together some good games, and I think that they're going to have to throw the ball a lot against the Vikings. The Vikings have been an up and down team as well. Their record's really good, but their offense hasn't always been reliable fantasy-wise. But I think this one, the Jets' defense is good. But I think the Vikings are still going to be able to put up some points, which will force Mike White to throw the ball. So if I got to pick between Mike White and Jordan Love, I think I go with Mike White.
I'm rooting for Jordan Love.
I know you are because you are the number one Aaron Rodgers hater.
I'm not hating on Aaron Rodgers.
A little bit.
No, I'm not.
No, a little bit.
No.
But a little bit.
No,
but just a little bit though.
I mean, I can be a hater. I will say that. Yeah. I can be a hater, but I'm not hating on Aaron Rodgers. I'm just calling.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to I laugh out loud. Sorry.
Yes, you did laugh out loud.
Sorry
I mean, Sydney knows I can be a hater.
Yes.
I can be a hater. That's true.
Right.
But I only hate on certain people, so I have a right to hate on certain people. But that's just fine because my disdain for the Chiefs. But that's okay. But I don't hate Aaron Rodgers. I just think Aaron Rodgers is a jerk sometimes. Can I think he's a jerk sometimes?
That doesn't sound hateful at all. Yeah.
No, I think he's trying to hold Jordan Love back. Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, Jordan Love has been riding the pine for the last 3 years since he's been drafted, and he hasn't had a chance to play. And all of a sudden, you have a pinched nerve, and you can't even
a broken
breathe.
thumb.
A broken thumb. You can't breathe, and you can't grip a football, and you still talking about you're going to play this week. That is selfish. That is plain old selfish. It is, man. Give that man a chance to play. Then you're going to come out and say, well, I'm fine with him. I'm fine with sitting out the rest of the year. Like I said before we came on, I think that's him trying to save himself.
The crazy part about it is he says, I'm fine if we're eliminated. I'm like, y'all are eliminated.
Eliminated already.
Like, don't even worry about it. You're not making the playoffs.
Yeah, he's trying to save face because he played bad this year, and he knew it, and he tried to say we didn't need Davante Adams, and you need Davante Adams. That's what.
I don't think it was they don't need Davante Adams. I think it was I need my money more than we need Davante Adams is what it ended up being.
He's trying to save face. That's the problem. He's trying to save face because at the end of the day, he made a poor decision by taking $50 million a year and not saying, "Hey, I'll give me 35 and I'll give the race to Davante," and just because I need my guy. You know what I mean? I need my guy here for me to be successful.
Yeah,
football is a team sport. He needs your guy. Stop. You know what I mean? Kelsey need Mahomes like Mahomes need Kelsey. You can't separate the two. You need both of them. So at the end of the day, Davante Adams should have been a Packer.
No, he shouldn't.
If he wasn't.
Well, now you're talking crazy. Davante Adams
I'm just saying,
was meant to be a Raider.
In hindsight, if he wasn't selfish, he should have been a Packer. He was being selfish, but now he want to save face because now they losing. And now if Jordan Love go out there and go 0-4 for the next 4 or 5 games or whatever, well, Jordan Love is not a good quarterback. I told y'all. See, that's his play. He ain't getting me. Yeah, he ain't getting me. He getting y'all though. That's what I'm sticking to my guns.
Hey, you got to go with what you believe in. Hey, your hate had you picking the Vikings to win that division,
and I was right.
The Packers to fall off. So your bold you're gonna at least have one bold prediction right.
I was right
because you called that one. So hate can be a powerful thing. Use it to your advantage.
And I also told you that he wasn't going to get along with his receivers because he does not know how to throw to put one. He has trust issues with rookie receivers. And he only throws to one receiver.
But that part is obviously wrong. because he's been throwing to a lot of receivers this year. They have not been catching the ball has been the problem, but the trust issues are definitely there.
Thank you.
So you get a star for that one.
I take that. Whatever. I'll take that.
I got a quarterback one for you. Pick between starting Jared Goff this week or Trevor Lawrence in that one game. They're playing each other. Which quarterback has the most success? By the way, if you've been watching the ticker at the bottom, that game, the over-under is like 52 points. So
That's
Vegas is saying there's a lot of points in that game.
That's a lot of points.
Which quarterback are you going with?
I feel like Jared Goff got more weapons.
He has some fantastic weapons.
I think he got more weapons than Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say Jared Goff. Just because of the fact that his receiving core is better than Trevor Lawrence. So. His running back is better because Etienne may play, may not play.
Yeah,
they're not sure yet. Yeah, it's iffy. So I'm going Jared Goff. I'm going to go Jared Goff.
I want to go with the young gun and say Trevor Lawrence. I mentioned earlier in the show that I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a really good couple of games coming up here. But for this one, with all those points out there, I'm going to pick, like you, say Jared Goff. I don't if you ask me who's more talented, I probably think it's Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, Trevor,
but at this point in their careers, talent doesn't always give you the results. I think Jared Goff is a really good play this week. So if you're struggling at quarterback, I think you can pick up either one of those guys. But I'm with you. I'm going Jared Goff because one, the Lions don't have a lot of winnable games. This is one I think is winnable. So I think they go all out on this one.
I mean, somebody gonna have to play defense.
Yeah,
because neither one of them.
I don't think that's a possibility.
I mean, somebody got to stop somebody.
Under 52. I think the last team with the ball wins this game.
That's a lot of points.
That's
just a lot of
points.
That's
a lot of points. And that's
two bad teams.
The only other team that has over 50 points are the Chiefs, Bengals, which we talked about earlier. Of course, that's going to be a lot going on. And then the other one is the Chargers Raiders because the Raiders don't play defense at all.
That's true. Y'all don't believe in defense.
We've never even heard of a defense. So.
Man, I don't even know why y'all come to the game. Y'all might as well just bring the whole offense and say, "This is what we're gonna do all week."
We're gonna just keep throwing to Devontae Adams and till the clock expires. That's basically what we do.
That is a bad game plan, by the way. That is terrible.
It hasn't worked that well, has it?
No, it hasn't.
Welcome Keisha to the show. And she wants to say thank you to our producer for that loss last week.
Hey.
Yeah, producer Cam, go.
Not my fault. I can't help my people played. My bad. I'm sorry.
You're not sorry.
Folks was folks was what we say off this show. That's between us. Folks played like they were supposed to.
I say this. For Keisha's also in the Women's Fantasy Football League, and she came out like a game buster, killing that league. But she's been suffering quite a few losses lately. So hopefully, with R&J Fantasy Football Talk, we can get you back on the path to success.
Oh my gosh!
So yeah, thanks for joining us. Of course, as Rodney always says, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Well, you already subscribed, but hit the like anyway. I said, no, she did. Yeah, that Women's Fantasy Football League has been fun. I've been watching from afar, and it's been exciting to see how well they've been doing. A lot of good stuff coming out of there. You got any more pick ones?
Benny Snell or Jordan Mason. Both gonna get playing time. Both got backfield issues with health wise.
Yeah. So my question is all on how this abdominal problem is with Najee Harris, because
got to be bad. He didn't finish the game.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just
but
saying.
They still have him as questionable, as if he might play. I don't think he is. I don't think Najee Harris is playing this week. If you just ask me to go from my gut,
okay.
I tell you the truth. I don't like that backfield because it's just so. You even saw it after Najee Harris was out. They were using everybody. And Jalen Warren's supposed to be coming back.
They say he's not cleared.
Yeah, he's not cleared yet, but he hasn't been ruled out yet. I guess. I don't think so.
I don't think the backfield's the problem. I really think it's the O-line.
Yeah, I mean, the offensive line is terrible.
O-line is the problem.
That offensive line has been the problem all this year. I'm just trying to think. I guess Snell, he had his first week back last week, and he looked pretty good for a first week.
And Jordan Mason may get some touches. I think he steals some touches from CMC.
I was gonna say, what you're the best one to ask about Mason.
I think I want to say it depends on how the week progressed for CMC. If he practice tomorrow, at least Friday, at least if he practice the next 2 days fully, not partial, I think Jordan Mason could see less. But if he don't, I think Jordan Mason could steal a couple of carries. Jordan Mason's a big kid.
We know why. We know why. CMC was losing touches to Elijah Mitchell, and I don't know whether Mason takes or how much he affects.
I do because I think they lean on the side of caution.
Right, especially if the other thing is with his knee. How irritated is it?
Because he has an injury history, so you don't really want to put him out there and just run him 25, 30 times. I don't really think you want to do that because at the end of the day, you're putting more pressure on him to be Christian McCaffrey when he's not all the way out. So Jordan Mason may steal some carries from him. So I'm thinking.
I say this. That's a tougher one. I'm going to still stay with Snell on the assumption that Najee Harris doesn't play. But
Me too.
If he does play, I might switch over to Mason. If Najee Harris plays.
If Benny Snell is just the guy, period.
I don't think he is. That's the other thing. I don't. Even if Najee Harris doesn't play, I don't know if Benny Snell is the guy. I don't think there is a guy.
Okay.
I think they use a committee, and it could be a committee with as many as 3 running backs, which scares me a little bit.
Yeah, I hate committees. I'm not a committee guy. Yeah. So I get it. I mean, that's a tough one, but I think Jordan Mason steals goal line carries. Third down, 3rd and 2, something like that. I think he steals some of those carries from CMC, in my opinion.
I could say that. Now, I have one last one, but you stole Knight already. I had Kyren Williams, the running back for the Rams. Now I need to make up someone for him to put against him in this pick one because you stole my pick.
I can't help we think alike, man. I'm sorry.
So I'm gonna go with Kyren Williams. Here's one for you against Justin Jackson.
Neither.
Neither.
Okay. I say Justin Jackson. Kyren Williams. I don't like anything coming out of LA right now.
That Rams backfield has been terrible.
Terrible. And I think the coach don't know which one he want to roll with. I think that's part of the problem. So he won't commit to neither one of them. So I just don't. I think for the rest of the years, anybody on the Rams team outside of Van Jefferson, you need to stay away from.
I don't even like him.
And I don't even like him like that.
Yeah.
So, but I think anybody else you stay away from because they're not playable, in my opinion, to be honest with you.
Here's the reason I like Justin Jackson as a potential person is, as we saw from last week, Austin Eckler had a really good game. However, I guess that's not the problem anymore. Never mind. With DeAndre Swift, because he's in, I have to remind myself, he's with the Lions now.
Yeah.
But Jamal Williams has eaten up this way. DeAndre Swift, though, has been sort of not as big of a factor coming off the injury. There's a lot of points in that game, which I think Justin Josh could see some potential, a good amount of touches. He's been a fairly decent part of the offense. But I'm going to go Kyron Williams only on the fact, and again, that's another timeshare that no one's getting a lot of one. But I think, and this is just my thought, maybe with the whole Cam Akers situation earlier this year, they're trying to see who's going to be the guy, and Kyron Williams has a chance to maybe be the starter going forward because Darrell Henderson is only so good. Cam Akers is.
See, but Darrell Henderson ain't even there no more, so you can't really.
He's not. What? He's with the Jaguars.
He's a Jaguar, so you can't even really involve him in it. So, I just think the coach does. He has a hard time making a decision, especially with running backs, because he's so pass happy, and he does not have that option anymore because obviously Cooper Kupp's gone, Allen Robinson gone, so you miss your top two receivers, so you're down to your third and your fourth receiver. So at the end of the day, I think I wouldn't trust him. I'm not trusting Williams because Cam Akers could come in and get you 6 carries, and somebody else could come in and get you another 6. It's gonna be split up so much. It's
hard
weird.
to pick.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't do it.
Well, you took my obvious answer was going to be Bam Knight when I did.
I mean, look, man.
Right.
Stop it. We think alike, man. Cut it out.
It's what it is.
Yeah, come on, man.
News. Well, we got to get to this news story because you're not the only guy that we're welcoming back.
I'm the only one that matters, though.
You're the only
Deshaun Watson. Only that matters. Okay, I'm just saying.
Well, then, I'll just say it. In NFL news, we also have to say a welcome back of sorts to Deshaun Watson, who, despite the fact Jacoby Brissett put on a nice show last week, he's going to be back to the bench, and Deshaun Watson is going against his old team with the Texans. Are you playing Deshaun Watson? Do you recommend our viewers play Deshaun Watson this week?
I like to stick by my guns, and my strategy is to always play your studs, play your guys. Mm-hmm. But this time around, I can't roll with that. Because you asked me earlier, and I was like, yes. But as I thought about it, I'm thinking I got to give him a week. Maybe 2.
Just to see.
Just to kind of, because I don't think he comes out and they just says, all right, Deshaun, we need you to throw the ball 35 times. They're probably going to warm him up a little bit, run the ball, Nick Chubb, that type of thing. So I'm going to say no, only if you have to. And that's a big, because you probably can get him off waiver wires now, for real. So only if you have to play him, I'll play him. But I'm not playing him right off the back. I have to see what he do first. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not doing that.
Do you put anything in on A, it's a revenge game, maybe motivated to play well, and B, the fact that the lawyer that was defending.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
He said he has a box and he has like 10 of the accusers going.
That's petty. He petty.
Is it a mind game that makes Deshaun Watson
that
better or a worse play?
That's
this
petty.
Week?
He's so petty for that. Lord have mercy.
I was like, wow, that is different.
I don't think I wouldn't call it a revenge game. I would call it more of the league knew what they was doing.
Yeah.
The league knew, hey, he come back this week, we can put him on this week. That's going to make for good TV, wherever's being played at. So at the end of the day, I don't think it's a revenge game. I just think with the way the year been going as far as fantasy and maybe your season's been up and down, take that risk of putting him out there and expecting him just to ball out instantly. Right. You don't do that. You playing yourself if you do that. Because at the end of the day, 2 years has been literally since he's been in an actual real live regular season game. So you're not putting him out there in that situation. So at the end of the day, I'm giving him a week, maybe 2. And then if you hold on to him, You say, all right, playoff time. I'm gonna kind of wrap. I'm gonna put him in playoff time. Then that's something different. But this week I'm not doing it. I can't do it this week. Not when you play up your playoff life on the line, unless you just got a better record than anybody else, and you can take that chance. But right now, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I'm not doing it either. My thoughts on it is basically the best you get from Deshaun Watson is probably what you got from Jacoby Brissett. And there are very few weeks this season where I would have recommended play Jacoby Brissett. So I'm not too excited about it. Like you said, it's his first week back. I'd rather see him do something because people are projecting him to do a lot this week. And it's the Texans, so maybe. So it's not like the Texans have a really good defense to stop people from doing well. But I want to see that rust shaken off before I'm recommending somebody play him.
Well, I'm gonna piggyback off that.
Mm-hmm.
So say he go out and he play well remainder of the season. Do you put him in your? And I ask you this because you know how big quarterbacks are in our league, especially the league we play in.
Yeah.
Do you put him in that 5 to 8 range next year?
That depends on how this season goes. I don't know. He could be in that 5 to 8 range, or he could be for me in that 20 to 25 range.
Ooh,
based
mighty
on
low.
How this goes. Yeah, it could be low.
The
only Deshaun Watson we've seen lately was in the preseason, that one game he played, and that was just plain awful. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but I don't know. Because the last time we saw him play meaningful games, he was elite. He would be in that top 5 range.
Okay.
We don't know whether that's him anymore. So I think at the ceiling, I have him maybe 10 to 15. But I've got to see a lot in these last few weeks to make me believe he belongs higher than 10.
Okay. I mean, I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of 9 to 12.
Yeah. I could see that.
But I got to see how he comes back this year and then off season. How does he come back as far as taking care of his body, coming back, getting entrenched back into football?
Yeah.
Because that's the big thing. You have to get him back, game shape, film. And I'm pretty sure he's been watching all that. But when you ain't played in 2 years, I mean, trying to get back into that's something different, you know. So, but I can see 9 to 12 going into next year, which is going to be interesting.
Yeah. I think that's fair, having seen nothing so far. So
yeah, definitely. So
I
can see that. So,
the rest of the NFL news, I think we probably talked about because we mentioned the Aaron Rodgers situation with him saying he's okay, he's comfortable being shut down after they're eliminated. We'll see. Angelo's thanks for joining us. He says the rest of the season is his preseason.
I can agree with that.
Next year. Yeah, I agree because the Browns.
I agree with that.
The Browns aren't winning the Super Bowl this year. Big surprise to everybody. So they have the rest of this year to see how good he's going to. Hey, they gave the man $230 guaranteed dollars. So
guaranteed bucks, baby.
So for their bank account, I hope that works out well.
Yeah,
but we'll see what he can do next year. It's going to be interesting to see how he plays, getting that rust off of him. Like I said, because the one game we saw in the preseason was terrible. I don't think he's that bad. I don't think even taking the 2 years off. I think that was just a really bad. Hey, get it going. Kind of thing. Like, okay, let's see if he's capable of doing that. He's got to be better than that because that would be the biggest fall off of all times. But I don't know whether I'm willing to call him dangerous next year yet until I see what's there. Because I
mean, think about it now. Going in,
he should be if he gets back to what he was. He should be real dangerous. But
think about it this way: if you had to do a redraft right now at this moment, you wouldn't pick the same guys based on stats because if you think about it, Geno Smith is a top 5 quarterback at this moment right now as we speak. And he's better than a lot of guys that was drafted ahead of him at this moment. I mean, so you got to think about it. Angelo got a point there. If he pans out for the rest of the season and he does work and he knocked that rest off and he come back, and especially with if they add some more receivers,
Yeah.
because Donovan Peoples,
you gotta have more than Amari Cooper.
Well, Donovan Peoples ain't that bad.
And Donovan Peoples Jones is a 3 at best. He's
at best.
He's
yes.
like the third best wide receiver. They drafted David Bell, who really hasn't contributed to the offense that much to this point, but give him some rookie leeway. But they need some help. They need something more there.
Yeah, but if they get a big time like a Brandon Cooks, or either because I can see Brandon Cooks coming there, familiar with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I think that would be a nice link because I'm surprised he's still in Houston. I really thought they were going to move him. But this offseason could be a time to do it. Yeah. Welcome, Actison, maybe, if I'm saying that right, to the show. Good question. Are you going with Debo, or I think that's probably Christian Watson, half point per reception this week? We got Debo, of course, going against the Dolphins, and like we said before, that's should be a pretty high, expected to be a high scoring game. And then we got Christian Watson and the Packers going against the Bears.
Man, that's a tough one, man. But I'm gonna surprise you, and I'm going Christian Watson.
I am surprised.
I'm going Christian Watson. He's the focal point of that offense right now, and he gonna get again value. Debo get his. Don't get me wrong. I love Debo, but it's a lot of mouths to feed between Kittle's, Brandon Ayuk, CMC, those guys. Watson is gonna get. He's the guy. He's the guy right now, plain and simple. It can be Aaron Rodgers, it can be Jordan Love. He is going to get a lion's share of those passes regardless. So
you're saying it's not Randall Cobb?
Not even. Stop it, man. You got to stop with that stuff, man. Randall Cobb is not the answer, bro.
Okay, just check it.
Yes. Stop it. You killing me. No. Also, like and subscribe, please. But I'm going Watson. I think Watson continues his touchdown streak, and I think he gets more receptions. But I think Debo, because Debo get a lot of he get a lot of rushes.
Yeah, he does.
I think Jimmy gonna throw a lot of hospital passes to try to put him in the hospital. So
okay,
I mean, I'm telling the truth, but yeah, I'm going Watson on that one. So
I am surprised you went that way, but I actually have to agree. I'm going to ride the hot hand. Christian Watson has been hot. And I'm with you. We talked earlier about whether it's going to be Jordan Love or Aaron Rodgers, and I somewhat agree with you in the fact that if it is Jordan Love, I think that's might even be better for Watson.
Better, yeah.
Debo, I think, is a better receiver at this point in their career, but like you said, there's a lot of mouths to feed, and that game with the 49ers and the Dolphins, that probably is the most interesting one on the schedule for me.
Yeah.
Right now, to see how that goes, because we're talking about two coaches that are gonna know each other and they're gonna know each other's system so well. Well, I'm thinking that's a defensive game, and so if you ask me who's more likely to have a breakout game, I'm going to go Christian Watson. So, hey, we agree on that one. Like Rodney said, hey, hit subscribe. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate all the questions because, hey, the questions you ask make the show better.
Yes.
We have another one coming in from Skills4. The question is, the Browns need a good slot well, I guess it's not a question. It's a comment. The Browns need a good slot receiver to help Watson as well.
Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks. It's perfect.
So, I have to agree with that comment completely. They need help at wide receiver. And, Brandon Cooks would be an interesting play there.
I mean, you have to get somebody for him, for his psyche. You have to get somebody he's familiar with. Brandon Cooks is a perfect receiver to put on the other side of Amari Cooper. Even as a slot, I mean, Donovan Peoples can run your slot and put Brandon Cooks on the outside, and then Amari Cooper on the. Those three are not a bad receiving core because obviously Amari Cooper gonna get his, and then he's gonna make Brandon Cooks better regardless.
Yeah.
Because Brandon Cooks is still getting double teamed in Houston with
Do you
no
think,
receivers.
and the answer is probably just really bad quarterback play. But do you think
That's true.
because Brandon Cooks has been not good. We've been big
That's,
Brandon Cooks guys. Do you think he still has enough in the tank
yeah.
if he were to move to somewhere like Cleveland?
I think it's bad quarterback play.
Yeah.
We have seen Brandon Cooks for years put up 1,000 yards with just any quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, you play with bad enough quarterbacks, you're just not gonna get it. And it could be coaching. It can be a bunch of things. It could be the way you scheme. I mean, obviously, he wasn't happy that he wasn't traded at the trade deadline. So, to me, it's coaching. To me, it's quarterback play. So, I think getting him to somebody like a Cleveland with a Deshaun Watson who know him.
I'm with you. I think that's a really good matchup.
Yeah.
And I thought there was a question. I went past it earlier, I guess. Scales Ford had a question. Would you start Michael Pittman against Dallas as a third wide receiver this week?
I'm playing Michael Pittman anyway, just because I think Michael Pittman is a really good receiver. It's not a guy you can put on the bench just to say, you know what, some guys you don't go based on matchup. Mm-hmm. Honestly, you go. It's just guys you put in the lineup, like a guy like a Jefferson. Not comparing the two, but a guy like a Jefferson, a guy like a Ahmad St. Brown. Those guys you just put in a lineup no matter what because they're gonna get theirs regardless. And Pittman's gonna get his because obviously Matt Ryan looks for him.
I don't like the Pittman play this week because of Dallas's defense. However, the key, I think, in this question is as a third wide receiver.
Yeah, you play him.
As a third wide receiver all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think – because as a third wide receiver, my expectations are tempered. I'm thinking if I get 10 points from my third wide receiver, I'm overjoyed. And I think Pittman is at least good for that. I don't think if because the way Pittman was drafted this year, he was drafted as a one.
As a one, yeah.
And he's not going to get that kind of production this week. I'm sure of that. But as a third wide receiver, I don't think you can. Hey, who are your first two wide receivers? Is my first question. Because
that's real.
If Michael Pittman is your three, then good Lord, you are doing the doggone thing. But yeah, I'm very comfortable playing Michael Pittman as my third wide receiver. So thanks for the question. And we have another one from Adam Weber. He thinks Pittman could have another decent game with the Colts being forced to throw after Parsons eats Jonathan Taylor alive. What do y'all think?
I agree.
And he says his other options are starting Justin Wilson, or Kareem Hunt in the flex spot. Wilson, do you like him that play this week?
No.
Not against y'all? No.
Nope. And the reason why is because we only give up about 81 yards to running backs. So I don't think we had a running back go over 100 yards this year, period. Yeah. So I think that D-line is going, between the D-line and the linebackers, they're going to stop a lot of the runs anyway. And plus, we know Jeff Wilson.
Wilson, thank you. I was messing up the first name.
Yeah.
But Wilson, I don't like playing any running back against the 49ers. That's just a general
we stuff
rule
to
for
run
me.
a whole lot.
I mean, unless it's just one of the stud guys I have to play.
That's something different.
And I don't think Wilson's that dude. And I don't like Kareem Hunt play that much either. I mean, the Texans are bad, but Nick Chubb we were discussing earlier, it's just that dude, so it's just not reliable. So given that choice or Michael Pittman, yeah, I'm all day on Pittman, especially in the flex spot, because the flex spot is sort of like your third wide receiver, where I don't need a whole bunch. I would say welcome Tony to the show, but Tony, we talked about you at the beginning. We mad at you. At least our producer is mad at you.
You decided to show up now. Look at that. All right.
Our producer has some words for you, Tony.
Yeah, go back and look at it. I don't need to repeat that.
She's not going to repeat it.
Just go back and watch.
Yeah, go back. Hit like and subscribe. Well, y'all know you subscribe, but hit like.
Oh my gosh, that is funny.
Hit like, Tony, before you go back and watch, because you might not like too much afterwards. Welcome Keith to the show. I don't think we should answer any question from Keith this week because I'm playing him in 2 leagues, and I desperately need to win both of them. But what up? What do you think Tua's gonna do to light up to the 49ers like he's been doing other teams?
Well, I'm gonna try to keep my bias aside on this question
Uh huh.
because I'm gonna talk to Keith probably tomorrow. So, I'm gonna say no
Nah.
because of the fact that left tackle, which is
Mm-hmm.
his blind side, who's a Pro Bowl guy,
Mm-hmm.
he know what I'm talking about. Is probably not gonna play this week.
Yeah.
I think Bosa's gonna get after him a whole lot. To be honest with you, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a tough week for Tua. To be
Mm-hmm.
honest with you, I think the front line gonna get to him. I think they're gonna get to the O line. It's gonna struggle a little bit. Secondary, our corners, especially one of are probably our weakest spot. But between our safeties and one of our corners, we're good. It's just the left side is not that great. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be a tough task for him. To be
Yeah.
honest with you.
We talked about this game earlier. Over under. I put it back up again. They're saying like pretty much like 47 points between the two teams.
Yeah.
I can't see that happening. Like you said before, those teams know each other so well because the coaching staffs and the players are basically all from the same group. I think that's going to be a big defensive game. I don't
Yeah.
think Tua's gonna light it up like he has. They should be. He still has weapons, and
Yeah, but
they should be formidable. But I don't see a lot of points in this game. As far as the 47, I'm taking. Like I said earlier, I'm taking the under in that one. I would be surprised if it's over 40 points total in
I
that
can see
game.
him doing
Yeah.
a Justin Herbert type of
Hmm.
game, like something like that. I don't think it's gonna be like crazy,
Yeah.
but it could be like a Justin Herbert when we played the Chargers a couple weeks,
Hmm.
where that front line just gonna get after him, and I think he'll struggle a little bit, but I
Yeah.
think it's gonna at the end of the day it's gonna come down to who wants it the most, and it's gonna come down to quarterback play. Honestly, for me, it's gonna come down to quarterback play between Garoppolo and Tua, and it's gonna be which one is gonna step up the
Uh
most.
oh. That don't sound good.
So
If it's
I mean,
coming down
because
to quarterback play,
think
I
about it,
think I
because
kind of like the Dolphins if that's
I
the
mean, me too.
criteria.
Me too. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
think about it. If we get down by 14, if they come out the gate and just do 14 points,
Hmm.
then you're down. You're digging yourself a hole.
Yeah.
You have to at some point you got to come back. So you got to throw. So you're eliminating the running game that we concentrate on so much. Can he throw you back in the game? We already know they love throwing the football.
Yeah.
So Tua's going to do it regardless. Can Jimmy come back and do that? That's the big question. Then the defense, obviously, we held teams to 0 points the last 5 games in the second half.
Hmm.
So it's gonna come down to that. Missing that left tackle could be a problem
Yeah.
for
Skills
two.
4. Thanks for the comments. Is basically agreeing with that. With that,
Yeah.
missing that left tackle is going to be a problem. I don't. I don't think it comes down to quarterback play. I think it comes down to defense. And quite frankly, like I said, I think this is going to be a really big defensive game, and I give that advantage to the 49ers completely. I
Yeah.
don't think they're going to give Tua the opportunity to beat them. And
I don't think so either.
And I don't think there's another way. If it's not Tua beating that 49ers defense, I don't think Miami has a shot at it. And especially missing the left tackle, I just don't see that happening. Of course,
Yeah.
I've been doubting the Dolphins pretty much since the season started and been wrong. So maybe I'm wrong again, but I'm going to give your boys some credit here and say
I mean, I'm thinking the defense should do well. I'm thinking the
Mhm.
defense is going to be one of the reasons we will win the game.
Mhm.
But I think I think it comes down to quarterback play. I think Tua going to do what Tua does probably, which is if Tyreek Hill gets past any corner
Mhm.
or safety on the back end, he gonna throw it up there for Tyreek Hill to go get
Yeah.
it.
And
Same
that's going
thing
to
with Jay.
happen because
Yeah,
Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill.
yeah.
But I don't
Same
think it's
thing
going
with
to happen consistently.
no.
Yeah.
I think it's
And I
one or
think
two
that's the problem.
plays. Same thing with
Yeah.
Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle probably would do the same thing. Is if you get behind him because they're speed guys.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like I say, the second cornerback is probably the weakest on that defense.
Hmm.
So at the end of the day, you got to keep an eye on that front
Yeah.
four, and then those 3 linebackers go get pressure. It's just how they react from that left side and how Tua looks to
Yeah.
react. at the end of the day, if he don't, then I think we'll be all right. But the defense, if it comes down to Jimmy, I don't think we win a game
Yeah,
if it comes
no.
down to him.
Hey, what was the stat we talked about a few weeks that Jimmy Garoppolo was 10-2 in games when he doesn't throw a touchdown?
That's
I think
a
that's
bad
the
stat.
I think that's the stat that brings out the. I don't think this is a high I don't think it's a high scoring game,
Yeah.
and I think this is a game that they want Jimmy G pretty much out of the picture for this one.
Told you.
Tony is joining in. I guess for our producer that is the Raiders running back's fault.
So now it's the Raiders' fault.
He's trying to project
Okay.
blame somewhere else.
So now you sounding like the husband that I had when the Raiders beat the Chiefs. It's not my fault. It's the Raiders' fault. Okay.
Okay.
And Angelo was going in because he actually was down in Miami, by the way, a game that I didn't get an invite. I didn't know we were going to Miami. But yeah, he was down there.
Ooh, everybody's salty tonight, huh? Just salt everywhere. I guess it's that leftover Thanksgiving salt. What is this?
That speed on Miami is that Miami.
And that's what I'm saying.
Crazy.
That speed is going
that's going to be the test right there.
That's the test. I mean, but that's just real. The speed they're gonna put on that field, it's gonna be crazy.
They got speed everywhere on
that
team.
They score in bunches. I'm gonna give you a quick stat.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna have to end this thing because
Oh yeah, I got
the baby upstairs.
My man is back from his paternity leave, but we can't hold him too long. We gotta let him go.
So I'm gonna give you a stat. Even in a 2-minute drive. So everybody that watch football know what a 2-minute drive is. In a 2-minute drive, we use 9 minutes off the clock because we dinked and dunked 5-10 yards. The Miami Dolphins go down the field in a minute, probably, if that, because they have those speed guys that can get down the field. That's a stat that you really don't understand because those guys are going to get down the field regardless.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. So, all right.
Like I said, I think that's the most interesting game on the schedule. That one, and then that Chiefs-Bengals game, because that's a rematch from the playoffs. But we got a good game tomorrow night, too. We'll see how that Thursday shakes out. But that's all I got for tonight.
That's all I got. I appreciate y'all, and I'm glad to be back.
Great having you back, man. I missed you. Can't do the show without you. Can't have R&J without the R.
Hey, man, you know what time it is. I know I got to cut a little short tonight. Yeah. Normally we'll hang on, but
we good.
I got to get up.
But thanks, everybody that joined with us tonight. Thanks for all your questions. Thanks for all your comments. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate having you guys. Like we said, you guys make the show good. Otherwise, it's just us talking about whatever we talk about, which is fun because that's why we started the show to begin with.
So,
but we love having you guys. And yes, go Wolverines, beating Ohio State for the second year, and go USA, winning in the World Cup. I meant to ask you, you've been watching any World Cup action? I know you haven't.
I mean, I watched it earlier.
You're busy. You watched it earlier. It's like
I was at work watching.
I got a newborn around the house. I ain't got time for that.
Yeah, it's all good. But like I said, I appreciate being back. You know how it is, man. One of us gone is appreciate Sydney for stepping in.
Yes, indeed.
Tony, I got a bone to pick with you. You can't step up and help a brother out, but it's okay. But definitely, I appreciate the family for stepping in. But I'm back, man. You know how it is. Hey. We're gonna keep it rolling. You know how we do.
Hey, great to have you, and good luck to everybody with their Week 13 games. Make that playoff push, and we'll be back here again next week doing it again.
Go. Hey, we here. We ain't going nowhere. Like and subscribe. Peace.
All right. Peace out.